Hey, everybody. Hi there. Hey, I am Justine from Joyfully Justine, and just coming on here with my weekly update on reversing type 2 diabetes. This is week number 5. Um, I want to say the reason I started doing this. I do have type 2 diabetes. I'm only on medication, not insulin, just metformin and Farxiga and atorvastatin for the cholesterol. They make you do that, I guess. Anyway, that's what my doctor says, and I'm believing. Um, but my doctor and me are working together to reverse the type 2 diabetes. The doctor I had prior to her, who retired, she was, I think, the older, maybe train of thought or belief is that once you have it, you have it. There's nothing you can do. Well, that's not the case and has never been. And I love her to pieces, but I actually got a new doctor, not realizing, who I was picking. But I believe, things, God puts the people in your place. Right before you that you need, and it just happened. She is very, up to date and trendy on what is possible rather than pushing medication, although she doesn't want me to stop my medication until we get this under control. But anyway, I just find it interesting that, there's the 2 different, schools of thinking, and, I'm so happy that the doctor I have now is willing to work with me, and I just have to show her that I can do it, and I know I can do it. I just got to do it. Okay. um so this is week number 5. And it's this whole journey. I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. Actually doing it, getting out there and doing it is another story. um you know Probably if you look back at week 1, and I probably should do that, but I'm afraid not afraid, but I don't want to look back until later when I've actually made some progress. And this week is a little rough. I mean, nothing happened. I did go on a couple of day trips with some women, and I ate really good. I It was surprising for me that I didn't go overboard like I normally would. Um We went to a little Amish town up north from where I live, about an hour and a half away. Went with a couple of ladies, and, oh, it was a wonderful trip. It was, just the drive up there and the conversation we have, and they're not about diabetes. I think one woman is actually doing keto. The other one, she's not that overweight, probably lose maybe 20 pounds, I don't know. Um but just the conversation, I have a community of women over 50 that I am, constantly cultivating, and it's on YouTube. It's called, not YouTube, it's on Facebook, Joyful Community of Women Over 50, for women over 50. Okay, so if you're there, go ahead and go in there and get in there and see what's going on. Anyway, okay, back to me. Um, So I knew I was going on that trip, and then the next uh, the next day I was going on another day trip to a butterfly festival that's about 45 minutes out of town with 2 other ladies. Um, I like to do a lot of that. We do a lot of events here in where I live, and I coordinate them, and people sign up and go, and doesn't cost anybody anything other than whatever they want to buy or their admission to the place. I don't charge like for the group or anything, but it's a way for women to connect uh, with other women their age, and they might be going through some of the same things. A lot of them are still working, so they are coordinating, husband stuff and family stuff, grandchildren stuff. Um, a lot of them do not have family at all. Like, they never married, no children. parents are deceased, all of that, sometimes estranged from family members. And, it's just my way of connecting women together with common interest and really just life. I mean, you don't have to be interested in somebody that quilts, but you like looking at the quilts. I mean, there's still an interest there. But anyway, it has really been wonderful since I've done that. It's been about a year and a half. December 31st, 2020, I made that group. And more recently here on Facebook is a separate group doing the same thing. It's that Facebook is more broader. They let you do more things, go live, put videos and things on there. The other is on a platform called Nextdoor, which is just my Kansas City community. And so anybody that lives in the outskirts that does not have a Kansas City zip code cannot get in that group. Thus, why I made a Facebook group. So anybody could. And we've got people from all over the world in there, actually. So it's very exciting and I love doing it. And anyway, all right, back to me. Okay, so where I was going with all that is the day, let's see. I look back at my blood sugars for the week. I always try to look at what the average was and figure out why in the world it is what it is. And this week it was 148. 148 was my average. Okay, the last few weeks it's been like 137, 138, I believe. Okay, there was a couple of days that for some reason, and I'm still trying to figure it out. I think it was because I was starting to come down with something because that puts stress on your body and which makes your blood sugar go up. So a couple of days there I had a scratchy throat and I thought, oh no, no, we can't come down with the the thing, that everybody, well, not everybody has, but I don't know. My theory sometimes is that I think everybody has it, and whether it's severe or not. And, if you got a little scratchy throat and runny nose, fever, I guess that would be the dead giveaway. But none of that. I just had the scratchy throat and the runny nose. And I believe it is from the fires that are happening in California. I know it might sound crazy, but the wind, comes from the west. We live in the middle of the country in Missouri. And once it reaches here, you can actually go outside and smell the fire burning, or wood burning. It definitely is there. And to go walking in the morning when the city is still at night and go walking in the morning and it just feels heavy. And with the temperature and the humidity and all of that combined, I think it was just I didn't sleep well the night before we went on that little excursion. So all of that combined, I think, is um, what happened with the blood sugar. Because it was like for 2 days, it was 183 on one day, 185 on the other. And that's after a 16, 17-hour fast, through the night and the next day. And I don't eat till lunch, usually 1 o'clock ish. And it still was that high. So I didn't forget any medication. So anyway, I'm chalking it up to the not feeling well, not sleeping well, and I know both of those are important. Your the way you feel and the sleeping definitely will cause your blood sugar to be high if you're not sleeping well. So back to this morning, it was like 132. Okay, and I know why that is. Me and my husband last night had Chinese food. Okay, I try to eat early, like 5, at least by 6 o'clock in the evening, just so it has time to burn off. Of course, I didn't go walking. That's another thing. I haven't been walking after meals. So, you know, um, I need to. Okay, just 15 minutes. It's not a big deal. It's just, up about 4 blocks, down a couple blocks, and then back. It's 15 minutes. So, definitely want to put that back into my regimen. Um, the medication is still there. Trying to think of what else I've been doing. Um, I'm looking back at my oh, one day. So I work the polls, right? When we have an election here, they want you at the poll at 5 a.m. Okay. I have to get up at 4 to be there by 5. Um, 5 a.m. And then the polls open at 6 a.m. They want you to be ready. You have to be there at 5, open up at 6. You have all day. The polls don't close till 7 p.m. And then you have to clean up. Basically, downloading, because what I do is check people in. That's part of my job. So you have to download the computer information and turn everything off, pack everything back up. Then you got to help everybody else do whatever they're doing so we can all leave together. So it's probably about 7:30, 7:45 before we got out of there. And so that is a long freaking day. It's like, I think that's 14 hours. Let's see, 5. Yeah, 5 to 5 is 12, a couple hours after, maybe 3. Um, that's 12. Okay, 13, 14. Probably about 14 and a half hours. And that is sitting. Oh my gosh. I don't know how many times I got up. The sitting in the very uncomfortable chair, hard plastic. There was a bump in the back, like where the small of your back is. That's where I guess you're supposed to. But the chair was so, I'm short. I'm like 5'3" and a half. But to scoot back in the chair, then it cuts off the circulation on my legs because um, my legs are too short to touch the floor. So, so uncomfortable, so uncomfortable. But anyway, I made it through, and you know, I just know those days not to do too much the next day, and just try to rest. Um, let's see what else. Food wise, I haven't been as focused as on the food as I should be. Um, going through this journey. Okay. So, I'm calling it reversing diabetes, which is what I'm doing. But, on one side, it's like, okay, girl, you can do this. Just stick to the plan. Just don't eat that. Don't do that. Go exercise. Don't, keep busy so you don't think about it. But the other side, oh, it's okay, just this one time. And then that one time turns into another time and another time during the week. You know, I have to cook or things go haywire. And sometimes when I cook, things go haywire. So it depends on if the grandchildren are here or not. So I try the best that I can. And I keep saying that word try. So anyway, I titled this The Beginning of the End. The beginning of the end? Yes. This week, well, let me go back. See, my nose is running already. I had a person comment that on my video, which just like, what? There's people out there watching me. Yay. But I took a lot. It was so good. I'll tell you. I read it probably 3 or 4 times before I actually responded. But so many good tips and things that she or he, I don't know, suggested. I'm assuming this is she. Um, so Dr. Jason Fung wrote a book called The Diabetes Code. So I am going to start reading that probably with my weekly update. We'll see how that goes. I'm in a book club I'm coordinating and leading another book club with another book. And I'm not a reader. Hey, who would have thought? But I love it. So we're reading a mystery right now, and it's one of those that you almost can't put down. It's so good. It's called yeah, just went right over. Little Comfort. Edwin Hill is his name. I think it's Little Comfort. Um, anyway, we're reading that, and um, the book by Dr. Jason Fung, I have reserved at the library. So I've got it on hold. Somebody else has it. I think a couple other people They only have like a couple of copies and they're out. So anyway, I'm just waiting on that. I'm going to start reading that book. Actually, I read it probably a year ago, and you know how you read stuff, and sometimes you're just not in the mood to take it all in. You grab what you can, and then you kind of, I know back then, then I started skimming, and I really wasn't reading. I was trying to, okay, where's the important stuff? I just need to know. Well, anyway, so I'm going to go and do that. There's another doctor that I've been following. Her name is Dr. Mindy Pelz, Pelz. She does a lot on fasting, and she has a book called The Menopause Reset, and it has to do with how to fast, when and how, if you're over 50. So she's got some other let's see, what was that book called? Fast Like a Girl. You can pre-order. I haven't pre-ordered it, but um, she's doing that. And anyway, a lot of her YouTube videos I watch, I probably should tag her and tag him. Anyway, um, I'm very much an amateur at this, but so I'm going to read that book too. So I'm probably going to do some updates on that, or things that I found interesting in the books. I do know that fasting is a huge part of reversing the diabetes. You know, and what I've heard and read so far is your body, every time you eat food, if you already have fat on your body, that your body, well, the food you eat, your body is going to burn up that food first before it touches anything on your body. You know, if you're overweight, all that weight is just stuff that's been stored up. Fat, it turns into fat, it's been stored up. Well, I have mega fat. I'm right at 20, let's see, 201 when I went to or was it 202? 202, I believe, when I went to the doctor the last time, which has been about a month ago. I'm not going to weigh myself till I go again. Um, but those couple of day trips I took, the pictures that I took on those trips with the other women, um, I said, "Oh my gosh, I have really got to start lifting weights or something," because it's just like I mean, you could see it. Gravity is just, I just look like I'm melting, down. And I know that's from not, I mean, walking is great. Walking is great, but you got to do more than that. So that's one thing. And then I have those little mini trampolines that are personal, you just bounce on them. They call them rebounders, I think. Well, there's another YouTube channel that I've kind of watched, but I got one of those rebounders. Got a great deal on it months ago, if not a year ago. I don't even know. I was had in my head that I would do it, but the grandkids, they love it. So it's been sitting in my living room. And the little one that comes over, she's 5, but I let her jump on it in the house. But the other one, who's 10, is a lot bigger, and we have an older house. So, um, but I want it to go outside. So I'm going to set it outside. I'm going to make a cover to put on it. So when it rains and stuff, we can just leave it outside. I don't have to drag it back and forth. That thing is heavy too. It's a real heavy duty, good one. And it's got the little bar thing, that bar that goes around it that you can hold on to, because that would be what I need. Anyway, that's good for exercise. Now, it might not, build muscle. It probably does in your legs. I don't know. I haven't checked that much into it, but that's another thing I'm thinking I'm going to do also. But this week, the beginning of the end. So this is the beginning. And I am going to this week do my best at drinking a protein shake. And I know there's varying, good ones and bad ones and all that. I'm looking at carbs and sugar is what I'm looking at. Got me some, let's see, I think it's almond milk, coconut milk, one of them I've got to mix with that. And chia seeds, and I'm not sure what else I'm going to put in there. I'll have to figure it out. But I'm going to start drinking that for lunch, like 1-ish, and then have my supper 5, try to by 5, 6 at the latest, because, then you gotta have time to eat about a half an hour after, so I'm trying to do that, which will push back my window of eating shorter. And, still, I know the shake is calories, and that's still, form of eating, but that's what I'm gonna try this week. Try my best to do that. I will do it. I gotta stop saying try, because that goes in here and, "Oh, you don't have to do it." Yeah, when the time comes. I want to do it, I will do it. Okay, I will be doing that. And, I think everything else, the walking after each meal, I need to get back and do that. I don't know why I stopped. I have no idea. I probably had an event or something to go to and couldn't do it that time. So I am still, though, keeping up the apple cider vinegar. That I think it's actually helping. I think it is helping. Um, I do that before I eat both meals, and I'll continue that 2 times a day, about 1. I don't think you have to have food, I'll have to read on there. I don't think you have to have food, um, but I think it's just good for your gut health. So, I think that about wraps it up for this week. Blood sugar's not good this week on average, some of them were good. Um, just trying to stay busy. Those couple of things, that I'm gonna get back to the walking after each meal, and, um, the rebounder. Got the couple of books I'm gonna read and do another update next week. So I will see you all then. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.